I set out to try and beat guys straight up and to the, just perform at a high level, right? Like that's the best way to earn your, earn your peers' respect.
Well, the magic stash is going to last at least a couple more weeks as Chase Elliott has locked himself into the round of 8. And boy, oh boy, was he eating good in victory lane. The mustache, I had someone ask me about it and I was like, this is a playoff stash, right? Not the full beard like everybody else does. Is it? No, it's not really a playoff stash.
I mean, I'm not. I don't know that it is or isn't. I mean, it was just kind of one of those things where we needed some magic, and I needed to at least make sure that when the season ended, I knew that I exhausted all options to try and make something happen. So that was really all it was. And yeah, based on the last couple weeks, I guess I'm gonna have to deal with it for a few more at least. So yeah, there wasn't really a plan or a rhyme or reason. I just yeah, it was like we're gonna try this and hope things turn around. So yeah, it's been good so far.
I saw you sitting in the front row at the drivers meeting, and I was like, "Dang, man, that grew fast." I feel like it was just there. Like my dad was a airline pilot in the '80s, and he rocked the mustache for a long time. So I'm digging it for sure.
I appreciate it. Yeah, it's coming in. It takes me a little while. It doesn't happen fast, but it takes a minute. So it's coming. It's getting there.
The Chase Elliott magic mustache. All right. I'll tell you, I was sitting there watching.
TBD.
Yeah,
TBD on how much magic, but we're taking all we can get.
Well, it gave you some magic this weekend, let me tell you, because I was sitting there, I watched that final, oh my goodness, those final moments. I was like, what the heck? What the hell? Where did he just come from? And I know that when you were in the media center, you talked about the fact that you hadn't really been able to watch it just yet, and you were going to go back and watch it. So how many times have you watched it? Like, what do you think about the way that as you said, the seas just parted?
Yeah, definitely. I've had a chance to kind of look at it from some different angles, right? Like on board and then on the broadcast, and it was much like I kind of thought it was, in the seat. But there are things that you don't get the full picture of when you're in there and you're making those decisions. But really and truthfully, it was just had a really good restart roll, and Brad gave me a good push into one, and that opened the opportunity for me to have some momentum and getting up top and three wide, and there just wasn't a lot of guys up there, so I had some pretty good fresh air on the car, and just got our momentum rolling, and was just trying to exit each corner with momentum and hope that some sort of opportunity would arise by the time you got to the end of the next straightaway. And fortunately, it did. It happened a couple times, and we definitely got fortunate with the way it worked out. We weren't going to get all the way to the lead without those guys having contact or getting up in the wall and really breaking their momentum. But when I entered three on the last lap, I just I wasn't sure how hard they drove in. It looked like they cooked it in there pretty good, which I expected. But they had a really bad angle. They were both kind of pointed the wrong way. And when I saw that, I was like, man, maybe I can maybe I can sneak to the bottom, three wide here and just have a shot, off of four. And yeah, they got stacked up worse than I thought, and yeah, hit a good corner on the bottom, and off we went.
Yeah, so Jeff Gordon was in the media center. He kind of gave up a little bit of secret from some in car audio. Take a listen to what he had to say.
My favorite part was what Alan said to Chase on that last restart is something about the cut line, because he kind of mentioned something about if Bubba wins, and Chase acknowledged it, and then he said something else about like screw the cut line, and so I love the way that it all turned out. That put a big smile on my face. But I'm a little hoarse because I celebrated my boy AG. I love this guy, and I love watching him do his thing, and especially when they have success.
I mean, first of all, I love a horse Jeff Gordon, because that means you've made that man very happy, and we all love a happy Jeff Gordon. But tell me about that exchange. Like, were you like, screw the cut line, I don't even want to think about it, or was that the confidence that you thought maybe I could go and take this win?
I don't remember saying that exactly, but I don't know what I don't remember the conversation, but I mean, I knew I knew that the 23 was behind us in points, and um, I remember sitting there thinking, I'm like, man, we've had a great day. I mean, here we are. We haven't scored stage points in the first stage, and I don't know how long. And we finally get some stage points, and we were in a great position to get a good top 5 or 6 out of that deal, under a normal circumstance. And here we go. Of course, somebody's going to win from outside, and we'll go to Charlotte and be right on the edge again. So that's the way it goes sometimes. And whatever the circumstances were next week, we were ready to face them, but we had a couple laps to at least try to shake it up. And sure glad it worked out the way it did.
Yeah. Do you like, I know it's like process of elimination and now like you're getting those 10,000 hours, right? Like you've been doing this for a really long time. When you notice that there's 5 Toyotas in front of you, like all up front, and a lot of those guys need wins, right? They haven't advanced yet. Is there a small part of you that thinks that maybe they might implode and give you an opportunity?
No, no, and I didn't think that, nor do I want
Yeah.
that. I,
No.
I don't. I don't ever wish that on any of my competitors ever. That's just no way to be in my view. So I just I set out to try and beat guys straight up and to the just perform at a high level, right? Like that's the best way to earn your earn your peers respect and your competitors out there on track. And that's kind of how I've always tried to go about our business. But I think that there's always a chance that chaos can ensue on those restarts. I mean, that's what it is. You bunch everybody up and you give people chances that they weren't going to have in the closing laps, and next thing you know, you're going to get some craziness. And I've been on the bad end of some of the craziness before, so it was nice to be on the good end this time. And um, it was a great time for us to get a win.
Yeah, it's interesting. I heard you say that in the media center about the fact that you haven't really been a part of like wild finishes, and I found that actually hard to believe. So I kind of like went back and looked at like a lot of your finishes, and you're kind of right. I mean, you've had some really incredible moves in the race, but I did find one, Darlington. It was your first win at Darlington. I know it's in the Xfinity series, but I feel like this is the one that I found that was somewhat of a crazy ending for you. Of course, you became the youngest winner at Darlington with this win, passing Elliott Sadler. Did you happen to kind of reflect on any moments in the Cup Series that might have been as wild as what you experienced Sunday?
Um, I mean,
It's crazy, right?
Yeah, Atlanta was kind of
Yeah.
that way, but it was a speedway race. I think that was more to be expected, in the closing laps there. But yeah, it's definitely one of the more wild ones, similar to Darlington, though. You're right. I mean, it does, it is similar. That my mom actually mentioned that the other
Oh.
day, after the race. So you, yeah, you were thinking alike on that one, and it is, similar in some ways.
Yeah, great minds there. Me and your moms. Loving that.
That's
Um,
right.
I know that you were asked in the media center as well something about like lifting, and you were like, no, would you? Right? You talked about being full commit, right? You weren't going to lift. What's that? Do you even have a like a battle in your brain? Like, because us normal people, right? We don't have that sort of like, we're not wired in the same way that you guys are, where you're just gonna do whatever it takes to get to, see ball, get ball. Like, did you at all kind of, is there a pull at all? What's that battle like?
It's definitely circumstantial. I just in that circumstance at that time, I felt like I had pretty good position in the bottom lane, and it was one of those things where, you know, I didn't. It wasn't like he got down there before I got there. I was already in the lane and up next to him, and at that point, I already felt like I was pretty low on corner exit. Like there was plenty of room up there, to the right. It wasn't like I was squeezing them, and we were carrying a lot of speed. He was trying to cover my run, and I was just carrying so much speed and had a lot of wheel in the car on corner exit, and we're what 300 yards from the start finish line. Like I felt pretty confident I wasn't going to crash him, and I didn't think I was going to crash ourselves and making contact. So yeah, just kept the hammer down, and yeah, I got back over there first.
Full commit. I love it. Before I let you go, full commit on the weekend, right? Not only did Alan make the right call, obviously, for 4 tires, you guys qualified better than you pretty much have. I think your average qualifying this season has been 17th. So really, I know that set the tone. And your guys over the wall, number one pit crew on the day, according to Racing Insight. So I just want to let you kind of brag on all of them a little bit and what everybody did as a team to get this win.
Of course, yeah, no, it's That's well said, and they're very deserving. They're deserving on days when we don't get the results too. I try to express that, but nobody tends to listen.
I'm
But
listening. I'm
they're
listening.
all yeah, they're all very good at what they do, and I think it's more about you can see the talent and you can see the precision and how well those guys can execute when I do a good job of setting them up for that, right? And when you qualify well and you get that good pit stall and we have an opening in and we're not coming around cars and the car is positioned in the box like it needs to be and all of their angles are right, getting out to the car and getting to that right side and hitting that jack post and setting the tone and um, all that stuff has to be perfect for it to be great and for them to have days like that and it's just hard to do when you're compromised getting in and out of your box. So they did a great job and I'm really proud of them. Really, this weekend was great, but I wish people would go back and look and see at the job they did last week because um, yes, I was proud of them. They did a great job on Sunday, but if you go back and watch our pit stops at Loudon, I mean, I'm in that pit stall all sorts of sideways, and we were still gaining spots, to me, those are the days that I'm like, man, these guys are next level. So it just gives you a ton of confidence that when you do put them in the right position, that they're going to excel the way they did, and they're a great group, been together for a long time, a lot of experience there, and looking forward to these next 5 weeks.
Yeah, absolutely a team effort. Speaking of teams, what happened to your Bulldogs this weekend?
Yeah, I don't know. Sore subject around these
I'm
parts for sure,
sorry.
for sure. But
I actually had someone go to Alabama recently and got me a Dreamland t-shirt, and I thought about wearing
yeah,
it today, but thought that might not set the tone very well for this interview. So I
that's
opted for
okay.
the flannel.
I don't get offended about it, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know why that's been such a speed bump for them to get over, and I hate it because they're so much better than that, and I think everyone knows it. And why they've had such a hard time with that, I'm not sure, but I do feel like that, with the talent that they have and as good of a coach as Kirby is from the outside, I don't see, I don't see anything but success for them, with those two teams meeting at some point. It's got to happen. And hopefully they believe that too. So, I'm sure they do. So, it was a fun game to watch, no doubt. Glad it was a good game. Hate it went the way it went, but I could see them meeting again, and
Yeah.
if they met again, that one could potentially mean a little more. So,
Uh-huh.
opportunity to make up for it.
Well, I love Athens. I'm a big fan of Kirby's. I've been covering him for a long time since he was at Alabama, and so big fan of his as well. And so go dogs. That's all I'll say to end this
There you
interview.
go. Yep, go dogs.
So this is normally the time of the show where we do best day ever, but I'm going to pivot today because I really want to give some love and some prayers to the Reddick family, Tyler Reddick, and of course his wife Alexa. Bo, of course, Alexa posted on social media this weekend that their son Rookie is in the hospital. She said that he's in the cardiovascular intensive care unit in North Carolina after showing signs of heart failure. Rookie is 4 months old. And of course, there are some pictures on social media. Alexa went on to say that she doesn't normally share stuff, personal stuff, but looking for some prayers and some love. And of course, everyone is sending that to little Rookie. We did get an update today. Alexa posted on social media. She said, came off oxygen today, got some answers, and perked right up. Well, that's great. As a mom, first and foremost, as a mom, I can't imagine the fear and the helplessness that you must feel when you see your baby in a hospital. My two sons, they were born premature, twins, and they spent 5 weeks and 4 weeks each in the hospital in the intensive care unit, the NICU. And so I know what those days are like sitting there. I know what those machines are like and watching your little one and just praying. So Alexa, Tyler, Bo, and of course, a little rookie. We are all sending so much love and so much positive energy your way. So prayers up.